All right, so today we're going to be just highlighting the model of vision. We're going to be talking about these best practice behaviors. These are things that effective leaders do and they do well. So these are the things you want to do as a leader. We're going to talk about crafting a vision, building alignment around that vision, and championing execution. So let's begin by talking about the work of leaders in terms of vision, alignment, and execution. And I think everyone received a copy of the book, so I hope that you enjoy that. Everything that I'm talking about today is actually in the book. So as you continue in reading that, and then also everyone either had the opportunity to take the assessment, so you have a personalized assessment with you that you picked up when you came in, or if you didn't have time to take it, I think you were given a sample assessment, and you'll be able to take it at whenever you can. It's important that we understand with leadership that every leader at every level in the organization is responsible for crafting a vision. It's not just, a lot of people assume, well, that's the president's job or the CEO's job to craft a vision and tell us where we're going. And every leader at every level of the organization is responsible for thinking about what's my vision? What's my department's vision for the area of the company for which I'm responsible? What's my vision? And when we look at vision, effective leaders are very good at exploration. They're very good at being bold in their thinking, and they're very good at testing their assumptions. So we're going to look at each one of these. When we think about exploration, this is a puzzle. Anybody ever put together a puzzle? With puzzle? Yeah, they're fun, aren't they? But if I took away the box and just gave you the pieces, you might struggle putting together the puzzle. It would be hard, wouldn't it? Because we need the picture. We need to see what we're putting together. Sometimes when you start a puzzle, you work on just the border first, so you get the border in, and then maybe you're working on one section while your partner's working on another section or the children are working on another section. But everybody is looking at the picture. Maybe I'm just putting together the flowers. I'll do the flowers. But if we don't stay focused on the big picture, we're never going to put this puzzle together. We're going to have all these bits and pieces. So as leaders, when we're exploring things, it's really important that we prioritize the big picture. We don't want to dive into the details. We want to stay big when we think about prioritizing the big picture and thinking big. The second thing that leaders do well when they're crafting a vision is they're very bold in their thinking. Dr. Mark Scullard, one of the co-authors of The Work of Leaders, teaches at the University of Minnesota. And over the course of about 12 semesters, he ran a little experiment with his students, much like an auditorium like this or a theater. And he said, I want you to guess how much time elapses between when I say start and when I say stop. And I want you to write your answers down and hand them in, and we'll collect them. And he did that, and not surprisingly, the results formed a bell curve, right? So there was kind of a common thread there, and then there were some outliers here and outliers there, but most everybody kind of guessed an average response, which was fairly close to being accurate. But he did the experiment a second time. And this time it was towards the end of class, and the students are ready to be on their way. And he said, instead of writing your answers down, we're just going to call them out. So he ran the experiment, start, stop, and then he called on people. How much time? 8 seconds, 9 seconds. And she might have thought, well, I thought it was more like 14, but I'm not, they said 8 and 9, 10, 9, 10, 8, 7, 8. What's happening? It's called conforming, right? It is built into our DNA to not look stupid. Nobody wants to look dumb, right? So we tend to say what other people are saying, even if we think something differently. And the point here is with leadership, when you are being bold and crafting a vision, you have to have the confidence to speak out, to say what you think. And sometimes that takes courage, because maybe you have an idea or a thought that's so different than anyone else's. You have to have the courage to speak out and be bold in your thinking. All right? The third thing that leaders do when crafting a vision is they test their assumptions. And this is sort of counterintuitive. A lot of leaders, they have a good idea, they're excited, and they just go. But effective leaders slow down at this point and they test their assumptions. Let me give you an example. I'm going to give you a little math problem this morning. Are you ready? It's early, I know. Try to solve this problem. A bat and a ball cost $1.10. The bat costs $1 more than the ball. How much does the ball cost? Anybody? Nobody wants to look stupid, right? Anybody think it's 10 cents? Yeah, a lot of people think it's 10 cents. As a matter of fact, 80% of an audience will say it's 10 cents. And it's not my intent to make you look stupid, but it's not 10 cents. It's hard, isn't it? The correct answer is actually 5 cents. I know some of you are like, huh? Let me do the math with you. If it were 10 cents, if the ball cost 10 cents, the bat would cost $1.10. And if you add those two together, you get $1.20. So it's not 10 cents. It's 5 cents. So the ball cost 5 cents. The bat costs $1.05. 5 cents plus $1.05 equals $1.10. So it's not my intention to make you look stupid. But what's happening here is I suspect that every single one of you would have figured it out if I had given you the time to check in with each other and counsel with one another. You would have figured it out. I have confidence that you all would have figured it out. But sometimes it takes pausing and thinking about it and checking in with others. Well, do you think it's 10 cents? Well, no, let's do the math. What do you think it is? So what effective leaders do when they're crafting a vision is they pause and they get input. They talk to other people and say, what have we missed? What haven't we thought about? What assumptions have we made that may be wrong? So this is an important part of crafting a vision, and a lot of leaders don't do this. They hurry past this because they're so excited to get on with their great idea. But effective leaders take the time and seek counsel and get input. So here we have our 3, and these are just some of the best practice behaviors. There are actually 3 additional best practice behaviors. And in your assessment that you took, you'll have a page on each one of these with your personalized data. So for example, on page 9, this is all about exploration. And you can see where you are on each one of these continua. And the best practice behavior is always going to be on the right. That's the behavior that you want to be using. And if you're over here on the left, it doesn't mean that you're not a good leader. But you'll be a better leader if you start using the behavior that is on the right of that continuum. So there is one page on page 9 for exploration. Page 10 is boldness. And page 11 is testing assumptions. So you can see exactly where you are and what kind of things you need to be doing to improve your leadership when it comes to crafting a vision. So as you think about your leadership style, I want you to think about what can you do or what are you doing to be an effective leader when it comes to crafting a vision. Are you good at this? Are you good at some of it? When you look at your profile assessment, maybe you're very good at exploration, but you're not very good at testing assumptions. So you can be a better leader by improving those scores in those skills and adopting those best practice behaviors that are on the right side of the continuum on pages 9, 10, and 11.